Good morning and welcome to Arthur Brown Photography. Today I want to talk about video cameras. I use a number of different cameras for video work. The camera I'm filming this on now is a Sony HDR CX450, or is it 405, something like that anyway. But it's a cheap Sony Handycam. Although it does actually produce pretty good results. In addition, I also use my GoPro on a Hero 7 at the moment, Hero 7 Black. I've got my drone and also a Canon 70D, which is a pretty good all-round camera, but very good for video work. It has good autofocus on it as well if you like to use that for video. Now, one thing I've always had a problem with is actually with a DSLR. It's really holding it. The Handycam's okay. I put it on a small tripod, which acts as a hand grip as well. And the GoPro has got plenty of grips, and I've also got a gimbal system for it as well. But holding a DSLR for video work's always been a bit of a problem. So. In the old days when I used to use a Panasonic GH4, I had a cage for it, but I actually sold a cage which was specific to that camera anyway when I sold the equipment. But for the Canon 70D, I have been using a bit of a compromise, kind of homemade cage support system. And this is basically I've got the monitor on a hot shoe, and then I've got a bracket underneath coming from the tripod bush. Now this is a bracket I bought from Photo and Cinema in the US, and then a handle I got off Amazon, I think. That's quite handy because it holds a microphone and it gives you something to grip onto. And I've also got a bit of threaded bar here as well to extend the microphone out a bit, so it gets away from the interfering with the cables that are on the monitor. Now this is okay, but the trouble is once I've got it underneath here, I can fix a strap to it, but I can't actually fix a tripod easily, or a quick release mount for the tripod. So I've decided to go back to a cage. Problem trying to find a cage for the 70D is that camera's been out for 8 years now, and nobody's making them anymore. There were a few obscure Chinese ones, with 2 months delivery, but all the ones made by Small Rig, and I tend to like to use their stuff because it's well made, were all out of stock. But what I did find was a Small Rig universal cage, which is adjustable to fit a number of different cameras in the Canon range. So I bought that, and I'm going to give it a try. Right, the Small Rig cage consists of a base plate here, which fits into the tripod bush. The uprights sit towards the front of the camera, and then there's a top plate here which then sits to the front, which connects onto the cold shoe, or the hot shoe, on top of the camera. And there's 2 upright pieces here, two uprights which fit at the side and then lock in with these tightening collars here. Now obviously you can adjust the height of those slightly to enable it to fit on a number of different types of camera. So you've got a pair of those that go at the side, and then also at the same time I bought this Small Rig side handle, which plate is going to go oops, I'm dropping on the floor now. It's going to go on the left hand side, because that's where I've been using the handle at the moment, and it's what I'm used to really. So right, I didn't bother to get a top handle, not yet anyway, because I wasn't quite sure how it would interfere with the fitting of the monitor, and I haven't been using one anyway. I suppose they are quite handy, you know, to grab and go. But what I'll do is I'll fit the monitor and a side handle and have a play, and if I decide I want a top handle, I'll buy that next. So right, let's have a go at putting all this lot together. I started off by stripping everything off the camera body first. So let's get all the bits together in the right order. So this is the piece that goes on the base of the camera. So that goes, and that's got a captive screw in it, which means that also it's recessed. So it's got a flat bottom, which means I can fit an Arca Swiss plate on that for quick release, or the Manfrotto quick release plate. Any of those are going to fit on there now because it's got a flat bottom. What I was really frustrated about was I was having to, you know, to take the handle of things off to get the camera onto a tripod if I wanted to use it, because I've got a big, you know, heavy duty Manfrotto tripod with a you know, proper cinema fluid head on it, and I've also got a Siriwi video mast thing, which you may well have seen if you've been following my channel for a while. So I did do a video about it some time ago, mind you, talking probably 4 or 5 years ago now. So start off by, I'm going to put this onto the bottom of the camera. Right, so next this will go onto the shoe of the camera here. Now this is adjustable backwards and forwards. Let's move the camera slightly. This is adjustable backwards and forwards, so it enable you to line up the everything. So right, and there's a couple of small iron screws on the top of this. Again, I'm not going to tighten that up too much at the moment, so I'll get it all lined up. Right, back a bit so we can see what we're doing. Right, so the top plate's fixed, roughly fixed, and the bottom plate roughly fixed. Now I want to drop these in. Now these appear to be the same back and front, but if you look carefully, they've got one round side and one flat side, so the flat side obviously goes out for fixing handles and stuff too. So I'll put that in there and put it right down to the ground, right down to the desk. And the same, this has got a flat side and a round side, so I can go straight into there. Right, so that's lined up now, so I'll just tighten those up. Right, so that's got the cage on it, so I'll just tighten the rest of these. At the top there. There's just 2 Allen key screws in the top of this, just to tighten this to the camera shoe. Right, I've still got to tighten that bottom one yet. So the way that's fixed at the moment means I can't get the battery door open, so the whole lot needs to slide forward. So I'll just loosen them off a bit. And loosen off the screw at the bottom, so it's because I hadn't tightened it up, and I can push that right forward. Well, actually that's still not enough to get the battery door open, is it? That's interesting. So maybe it wants to go the other way around completely. Right, so that's a good thing about YouTube, you can see the mistakes as well as the the things that go right. So let's locking these off and locking that off completely. I should be able to pull the camera out. No, pull the camera out that way. That's not. Right, let's take the top off. These need to be slackened off a bit more, I think. That's that. Right. Let's turn it around the other way. So again, that'll slide into the right. Just tighten that slightly. Right, I'm glad to stop the film then, because it took me about 15 minutes to completely take this to pieces and rebuild it, but that's the whole point of a universal cage, isn't it? So now I've got the handle here, the left hand side, I've got the right hand side of the cage with enough space to get my hands into the main grip on the camera, so that gives me a good two-handed grip for steady filming. And I've also got the battery door is completely accessible, and I've got access to the memory card and all the plugs and sockets on this side as well. So right, so the next thing is to see how it rigs up with the monitor and the microphone. Right, that really was quite a task. But as I said a few minutes ago, that's the point of a universal cage. It'll fit most things, and hopefully I'm going to upgrade this camera to a 4K one shortly, and it'll fit that too. So let's take a quick look at what I've done. Right, so I've got the camera in the rig now. I made it slightly asymmetrical to give myself room on the right hand side to get my hand on the camera grip. But obviously there's still room on the left hand side there for cables and things. I'm going to tie back that monitor cable out of the way, but you can see to the top plate I've had to reverse that to get it to fit, but so the small rig logo's at the back now rather than the front. But anyway, I've now put a cold shoe onto that and put the monitor onto that as well. So and I've also put another cold shoe on top of the side handle and mounted my Rode microphone to that as well. Now, whether that's isolated enough from the hand grip to stop noise transmitting, I mean, it is on an isolation mount, but we'll have to see. It may be that I need another isolation mount just to raise that slightly out of the way. And also to see whether it picks up any noise from the autofocus if I'm using that as well. So, but actually I'm quite pleased with that now, because obviously it's given me the opportunity to have a cage I don't need to keep fiddling with. I can stick a quick release on the bottom of it and stick it on the tripod quite quickly whenever I want. So and that's actually turned out to be quite successful. Fiddly to get it right, but successful now. So, well, there is just one other bit of kit I got as well. It's a hinged filter holder. So I put an ND filter on it, and I can pull it out of the way. So if I'm filming indoors and I want to go outside, have a ND4 on, just shut the door. That's it. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, if the weather wasn't so bad, I'd like to get out and fly my drone a bit more, and hopefully, you know, I'll continue with the series on starting flying with the drone as soon as the weather gets better. But in the interim, I shall go and have a play with my other video camera, the Cage, and see how I get on. As I say, I hope you enjoyed this, and look out for the next video from Arthur Brown Photography. Bye for now.